Facebook never liked us, so mahlang re ratang re tla dila ka yona. For now it doesn't like us, so we are good. Maybe next month we will try YouTube and see. As for Facebook, it never liked us, so yeah, re tla tswa ho yona, re ye somewhere. It's gonna be the shortest of them all. We're trying to be diversity.
Did you share in the group?
Not
Okay,
yet.
let me quickly do that.
All right.
Because wow.
Hi. Nahana fell a whole 20 minutes wasted. No.
Ah well, but I was strong.
This is gonna take. It mustn't take. It was supposed to end at 2:30. You see, 2:30. It should have ended. The main purpose of this live is to recognize the month that we are in, because it's Human Rights Month in South Africa. On the 21st, we will be commemorating, not celebrating, because we can't celebrate people dying in a brutal manner. So the 21st, it will be what we used to call the Sharpeville Massacre, where people were brutally killed, fighting for their rights. And then on the 1st of this month, we actually also commemorated Zero Discrimination Day, where we are, reminding each other about issues of discrimination that a lot of people still experience in this country, and to just remind one another that there's a human before there is any other label that is put on people. And we should always celebrate the human first before we even look at all these other aspects that surround that particular person. And there are so many forms of this discrimination that people go through. Then on the 8th again, we actually celebrated International Women's Day. So there's a lot that happens in this month, which is not separate, but it's actually interrelated. I will talk about the joke that we had yesterday in the house. It wasn't really a joke, but it's something. Some of these social issues that are continuing, and they require engagement. They need us to talk about them. So yeah, welcome, Coach. I know this is a subject very close to your heart, issues of discrimination. And we will call it just a reminder, because this is an everyday issue. It shouldn't just be a one-day issue. But we do appreciate that once a year, things like these are given attention to say we need to look at this. my there's gonna be so much noise because it's now raining, and it's not just raining, it's
There's
actually
thunderstorm
there's
I can hear.
lightning, there's thunderstorm,
Yeah,
massive. But yeah,
massive I can hear.
but in si pusha siyincenga siphusha or siyayiphusha siyincenga
Injalo,
siyaphambili.
phambili
Yebo,
is where we are
yebo.
going. Forward.
Yeah.
Mm.
So we all have experiences of most of us. Let me not say we all. Maybe some people have never experienced that, discrimination. Uh, but if you are a woman living in this country, you have a story to tell. If you are experiencing different things. The one that I think is a scar that has healed. If you have a scar, it means you have healed. Was the one of divorce for me. That was the one that left the biggest scar for me in terms of discrimination. There have been other forms, growing up as a left-handed person. I experienced a lot of discrimination in terms of that. And even as an adult, I remember in my first marriage, people used to say, no, don't give me food ngesandla sa toilet, or don't give me money with your left hand because unzisela bad luck,
Mm.
but that was smaller than a thing. But if you have to even change the people you associate with because of the stigma of the word divorce,
Mm.
that's what it was the most shocking for me. And
Mm.
when you actually initiate divorce, this is one of the things you don't consider, or even my circle will have to change, because I don't know why when people go through divorce, the people around them feel that they need to choose sides. And then there are those that also decide, we need to be telling her, giving her update. They assign themselves to be giving you update regarding what's going on another person's life. So for me, that is what was one of my biggest scars, because I even had to change location, but I had to move from a place where I stayed for 10 years to just have peace of mind, peace of mind, and to free people from the obligation of thinking that, they had to choose sides, or they have to behave in a certain way. And the worst part of them all was church, because religion, anyway, they say religion which put Jesus on the cross. And so who are we, Tina, that we can think that religion will not put us on the cross? Nah, religion did put me on the cross, and that is why,
Mm.
I'm no longer a religious person, because I don't want to be associated with something that is gonna put people on the cross.
Mm. Hi,
Hi, dear.
darling. How are you?
Yeah, so yeah, that is one of the things that were profound that I think I will never forget in my life, it left a huge scar, but it was a blessing. It was a blessing because it made me to not focus on the pulpit for my relationship with God, but to establish that relationship myself, which is the biggest gift. Because if I was always depending on the pulpit, I wouldn't be the person I am now, many years after that. So, diabolical, I thank it.
Oof, yeah. Go.
So, do
You,
you have any stories of discrimination and stigma?
woo, Bana. My stories are as long as the drive from Cape to Cairo. Ne? I have Bon, I have stories for days. I can tell stories for days. We won't finish this live. But out of all the stories that I have, there are a few that, there are those things that shape you as a person, that you ultimately choose your peace of mind, you choose your peace. I can relate, and I can relate to you when you say after the divorce you become an outcast of some sort. You get discriminated because your cycle becomes a question of how, where now, Miss Pretty Perfect Shoes. How do you end up in a divorce? You look also put together and all that. But for me, uh, it was when I was not forced, I was not pushed, I was not, you know, put in a situation where I had to do things that I don't want. There was a story about church. I think in 2007, I I got very sick. I had shingles in 2006 and I had shingles in 2007. Bearing in mind that way back somewhere in my life, there was a story that I am HIV positive. But because at that time when that came, I had other things that I was dealing with in my marriage, in my life, and everything. I had to put the HIV was took the back burner. Plus, it was a new concept. It was a whole new thing. I didn't even understand it at that time, so I put it at the back burner. So, come 2007, I was as thin as a stick. Nekelo robo besi, and I was dealing with the shingles. So that's when you realize that, Bona, if you don't have a family that is supportive, uh, you will end up in the grave alone. Anyway,
True.
you are gonna end up there alone. However, it is sad to be dead when you are still alive. You still feel you have life in you, but you end up having to choose. I had to relocate as well. I relocated from my hometown where I was born, bred, battered, married, and divorced, had my kids there, everything. My whole life, I had to uproot and I had to come to the big city. And it was a lonely path because here you coming, it's a new environment, new everything, and here you are now. You are being told that your CD4 count is 54, and your family must start making your funeral arrangements. Now, this is from the healthcare professionals. We were saying to my family, look, there's no hope for this one. So you must start. My mother was told to start mourning, and yet I was still having air in my lungs. So the discrimination in the HIV sphere. It's very bad in such a way. And people think that, no, but now, this days, HIV, it's not as bad, and wara wara. You haven't walked a mile in our shoes. The people that are living it. Hi,
Hi,
Miss
dear.
Davis. Bona, the people that, the person that is me, having walked this walk on April 18, it will be 26 years. I can tell you how is it to walk in those shoes, whereby you I like to be honest with people. I like people to know when they are around me how to behave and how to, like how to treat me. I'm a normal person. I'm just having an invasion in my body, that is in my blood. But that doesn't change the type of person I am. I'm still a woman, proudly so. I'm still a mother. I'm a sister. I'm a daughter, and yeah, maybe someday I'll be a wife. Labona, I'm wife material as well. So I still like the same things that every woman that deem themselves as normal, or every person, I am still normal. But the discrimination, people are still living in fear of disclosing, whether it's the employers, whether it's at the place of work, whether it's at the place of at home and whatnot, because you are afraid on how are you going to be treated, how this is going to be accepted. And I must say, guys, for me, I must be honest, the community that supported me, my employer and my then employer, even still today, I have the utmost respect for that company. I do not care who says what, because they gave me the support that I needed at that time, and they continued doing so. I would go to my
Yeah.
doctor's appointments and whatever's, and that day it will be a day that's not taken from my leave. That's not, because I decided I'm going to disclose and tell them this is the situation right now. Whether they fire me or they keep me or they whatever, that was that. I stayed, and born. I loved every moment of it, because I grew as a person, emotionally, spiritually, physically. As for the church, I divorced my church that I grew up in 2007, when people decided to play Jesus and God and tell us hateful things. We were told by older women. I remember we were in that room. We were about four ladies, and the words were, "Bana ba rona le a tsamaya, le lo itshenya, ha le qeta la kgutla." Like, I was like, but who are you to judge? Who are you to judge? Isn't this supposed to be church? This is supposed to be the hospital of the soul, where you are coming to put me together, to mend this wound so that it gets healed. How do you then? The audacity for me was that. So I decided, I walked out and I said to my mom that day, if I'm going to die, I will die at home. And you are not going to invite this church to bury me, because they helped me to my grave. And that was the bottom line. So discrimination, it comes in any shape, form, or size. Um, being a single, I like to believe that I'm independent, because I'm not dependent on anybody for anything material, if I may put it that way. It becomes a problem as well. You get into a relationship, you have disclosed, you have discussed, you have done what. So the person comes in and they feel that they have done you a favor by being in a relationship with you. Just because you are HIV positive, you are not worthy of love, because apparently HIV is associated le bofebe. And me, I was born Mpuseng Khatho. I was not born in Pusensifebe. Whether I got it from Febering or whatever, I was not born Sefeb. My surname was never Sefeb. It was Nkatu, and it still is. So it was really, you know, at times there some things they just, yeah. So I'm quite fortunately or unfortunately, it is at the end of the day your decision. You yourself and your creator, your maker, whatever you believe in, to say the bus stops here. I am not going to move from this point. I'm going there. And that's it. Take it, leave it, join me, don't join me. It's up to you. I do me. What you do with the information that I share with you, if I chose to disclose to you and you go and say, who skela mona le jwalo, una name it was Z3 kana nko ona le Z3
Amagama ayi-three.
amagama amathathu. So I mean, it has been bad, but like right now in my space, I am trying to create a community where people can decide, where people can be free, be themselves, live their best lives. Because after all, you are still human. You are still having blood running in your veins. You are still created in the image of God, and that's that.
Yeah.
Whatever anybody
Very
else
true.
believes or want to believe about you, it's their business. A kere ke bona ba lalang ba sa robala ba tlola dibata. Nna ke robetse. Bosiu,
Yeah.
I will drink my chamomile tea and sleep peacefully. So your opinion about me, don't bother me. And if you have a query or question, why don't you ask me? Because it's me who knows my life and what I choose to share. They say if you share your life on a public space, I got a lot of, even after the people who saw the interview, that the recording, the broadcast, the whatever, whether it was from Madam Speaker or from the SABC One Orange Couch on the 10th of December, I got so many requests and so many DMs, inboxes, people saying all sorts of things. And my take was that, you know what? I guess you are the one who paid the TV license and your TV. You had a choice of changing channel. It's as simple as that. You don't need to watch my story. You don't need to listen to what I have to say. You don't need to. You have a choice of doing what pleases you. But what I will not allow is people bullying me. It's not gonna happen. But discrimination, shame, we can talk the whole day about different types of discrimination. But for my community, that is my HIV positive community, the discrimination is still there because people are still afraid to disclose their statuses to some, and especially the men. You will find that they're still afraid to go to the clinic. They still test through us. You know, if the girlfriend has tested, I also tested. If she's positive, I'm positive automatically. It's automated. Yeah.
Yeah, but you skipped steps. Um, as my sister, of course, I know that you've always been a confident person. Always, like, for I'm sure the day you were born with it. I've never seen you not confident.
Yeah.
So that's a plus for you. That's a plus for you.
Mm.
And for people like me, who was always on the corner somewhere or looking for a corner somewhere, Um, there are processes that happen to get to where you go a thick skin,
Yeah.
and you block negativity. I always tell people in my circle that right now, the stage where I'm at, it, people's opinion about me does not matter. Kore, up to even including my family, my very close family. When you say anything, whether or criticize, look, there's constructive criticism, there's destructive
Destructive
criticism.
criticism. Mm-hmm.
If you are criticizing to attack my character, my personality, my self-confidence, all those things,
Mm-hmm.
I've healed from that. But uh, people who see you, who see me saying we are now comfortable in our own skin, they need to know that there's processes that you go through to get there. And the very first thing, even in the Garden of Eden,
Mm.
the very first thing that happened was what was shame.
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 Mm.
um in any situation, the first reaction is shame.
Mm.
Okay, we instead of even starting the process of healing,
Mhm.
we go through this emotion of shame, and which sort of delays the
Yeah.
process of healing,
Yep.
because during that time you go into this box where it's all questions
Mm.
about what and how and why,
Mm.
and it's you don't have answers to them. You do not have answers to them. On the other side, there's the accuser, the accuser, whether it's visible or not visible accuser, as to why what you see now. Look at what is happening to you. See this, all the
Right.
red
Mm-hmm.
lights. So it's a process to get to where you end up blocking negativity,
Mm.
and as a result, I think when anybody starts the process, just know that you have to go through, not stay there.
Mm.
Go through these processes, where it first is shame, and then it's questioning, it's asking questions: why,
Mm-hmm.
when, why not, and all of those things. And then to eventually get to acceptance.
Yeah.
And to get there, a lot of forgiveness has to
To
happen,
happen.
where you first forgive yourself.
Mm-hmm.
The first person to forgive is you.
Yeah.
And don't go and pray ditapelo tse telele mo. Don't go and pray purpose play prayer. You repent, you acknowledge your sin, whatever you think your sin is, and
Mm-hmm.
you then call on the blood and you say, I pledge the blood, because the blood has already covered that sin.
Mm-hmm.
So after that, forgive yourself. Forgive yourself for because before you even go and forgive other
The
people,
people.
you
Mm-hmm.
first need to forgive you,
Mm-hmm.
and look at you in the mirror and say, yeah, you, I mean, in my case, with my divorce. The thing that was like, yeah, the accuser was on me more, in my emotions, in my soul, was
Mm.
that didn't let being so educated, really, also being so educated, and then you get fooled. And mind you, this that I got married very late in my years. I was over 30. My brain was fully developed.
Mm.
When people say brain development, completes
Mm.
at 31, or between 29 and 31, it was complete. So I was very, very matured, but I still got fooled, in my maturity, in my saying everything is put in place. But
Mm.
then, unfortunately, there's a school of life, and then there is a academic school. Academic school will never prepare you for the school of life. That class, you can't skip it, guys. You can't skip
Mm.
it, no matter how clever you are, how intelligent you, and it's lifelong. It's lifelong,
Yeah.
because it's different things for every role that you are taking up. If you are taking up a role of mother, uh, know that there's a class for it. If you are taking the role of a wife, there's a class for it. If you are taking
Exactly.
a, a role of mentorship,
Mm.
sisterhood, any role that is on your table, know that there is a class for it, and you can read all the books you want to read. They will never prepare you than what the school of life will prepare, how the school of life will
Life
prepare
prepares
you.
you. And
So it,
and before
it,
you
it
pass
was
that,
two different classes, and I thought this class should make sure that I know better about the school of life. But no, it wasn't. It wasn't.
and also on that, ne, you one, you you can be an academic and have studied psychology, right?
Yes,
You will
yes,
specialize in psychology, you know the practicals, you have excelled, you know everything there is to
mm,
know,
yeah,
until you are faced with that. Now this is practical. Let's see what you have learned, how it's going to help you here now. Because you have learned that
yeah,
you're born.
hmm,
People come to you, and yeah, that is the bottom
exactly,
line. So it's
exactly.
totally different. The practice and the theory are not the same.
Are two different
They
things,
are two
and
different things.
yeah, and even professionally, it's like that,
Yeah,
because in class, as a student
student.
nurse, I
Yeah.
was taught different way. When I get to the ward, the sisters will say, "Hey, don't come to me with your class thing there. Yeah, it's practicals." So what I finally learned is that school teaches you principles, but the practice it's totally different. And even about life, it's very true. I did psychology, like now psychology, I loved even before I could study it, because in my gap year, I would go to the library and actually get psychology books. That's how much fascinated I was with psychology,
Psychology.
the human mind, the how it thinks, the learning, and all of those things. But none of that prepared me for the physical, like you were saying, when it came to the class, to the test now. I failed the test dismally.
Yeah. And that is the
Dismally.
thing. Until you have, you see, that is where I always say the issue of discrimination, ne, where we will be discriminating people, not understanding what is there, what really happened to a person, or what really is happening in the person's life, or whatever the
Yeah.
circumstances or situation. We are not God. We are not going to judge anybody about anything. People makes, we all can tell a story about, we still are making bad decisions even now. Now, if you have made a bad decision, you already are crucifying yourself. You are already having all these conversations with yourself. I don't also need you. You don't also need me to come and say, but I told you. How is it helping me now? You told me yes, but I continue to do it. So what? Can we move forward?
True. True.
So, yeah,
And
no,
we
discrimination
put,
unfortunately sometimes comes in many forms and size and shapes and whatever.
yeah.
Other people,
Yeah.
we think discrimination is when you are in the LGBTQI what plus community, ne? And when you get to a certain place, the toilets are written male and female, and you decide to go into the female toilet because that is what you can identify with. It's not only about that, it goes even deeper than that. It's way beyond that. We like, even now we are saying but ke makwerekwere, ke di-foreigners and all that. What are we? Where are my origins?
Because all of us, as long as you are in this world, you are a foreigner.
We are foreigners.
As long
So
as you are here, you are a
so
foreigner.
it is really a lot, and quite sadly, um people are still dying in silence. People are still living in denial to live to their truest potential, to live to who they were called to be, because
Yeah.
they fear of being ridiculed and discriminated and being told, that, like we are saying, there are things that are very harmful, that will break you to the core.
So,
And some of those things, they stay with you forever. So any sign of, oh, okay, here it looks like you go to your first instinct, which is flight, not sit and educate. And yeah, until you get to a place where you have developed the thick skin, like some of us, it is really, all you can do is the support that you get. Hi Michael, how are you, son? It's the
hi,
only place,
Michael.
the only place that you can is be with yourself and tell yourself some truths, because we have to take accountability of some sort on certain things, because some situations, some things, in your heart of hearts, when you are sitting alone and talking to yourself, or wait again, I really played a part in this one. I played a part. If I didn't want to be in this situation, I could have done,
Yeah.
prevented it.
Yeah.
But it is my journey that I have to go through. I have to go through.
Yeah. Very true.
Yeah.
And that is why people need to understand that to get to the acceptance stage or integration of this change that is happening, and even ending up putting boundaries to say, I need to get to for some people, it's physical removal in order to create boundaries. For some people, is to put invisible walls, where you actually create invisible walls and say, this I will accept, this I will not accept. But the most important thing that people need to remember is that this is a process. It's
Yeah,
not
and
I
it's not
sleep
it
and
it
then
it
the
doesn't even
following day.
happen overnight. It's still a
No,
process even now. It's
it's
still
it's yeah,
it's a process. It's an ongoing process. You need to have enough love for yourself and enough patience and continue praying for grace. Whatever God you
yeah,
believe in, pray for that grace to say, give me the grace enough to accept
yeah.
this.
And I guess people might ask, Hori, um, but why the topic is zero discrimination. So why are you not reprimanding people that are doing this? And you
I
are
have an
actually
answer for
talking
that.
to us. Yeah, it's yeah, we're gonna unpack it.
Mm,
Um, you know, like, okay, start because you are the coach.
yeah. You cannot you cannot go reprimand somebody when you haven't reprimanded yourself. It starts with you. Everything starts with self. Self. Most of the time I say I am three in one. It's me, myself, and I. Me. What part did you play in this? Myself. What can you tolerate? I am going to overcome this. I am going to get out of this better, stronger, wiser. It takes one. For me, it's only you. You can account for yourself, your actions, your feelings, your whatever. You can account for you. You cannot account for the next person. You cannot.
Yeah, and when it comes to issues like this, that's why it's so important to get to the stage of acceptance.
Acceptance.
Because when you get to the stage of acceptance, you now have internal locus of control. And that's what we go for counseling for, to
Yeah.
finally get to acceptance and to where I get to understand that there's nothing I can do about the external factors. The external factors will always happen. They will always come.
Thank you.
And when they come and I get triggered, I used to not like the word trigger, but I love it now. In all aspects of my life, because when I get triggered, it actually is a test. Triggers are a test of where I am in my
Gauge
healing journey with regard to that particular
particular
aspect. So if I
gauge.
get triggered, it's not about the person who is doing whatever or the situation. It's to look at the man in the mirror to say, why are you feeling this way? Why are you triggered? What have you not healed from? Or yes, we will have reactions, but these reactions, do they go from feelings to emotions? because feelings are temporary. In a spare of a moment, I feel hurt, I feel this, I feel this, but the emotion that will stay, the anger that I allow, the sadness that I allow, the shame that I allow, it's on me because that stays with me. And how long I want to stay in that
Yeah.
mood on that kind of emotion depends solely on me, solely on me. And people might say, but you guys are not being realistic. Why are you not addressing the very people? My message to people that discriminate or that feel justified to actually be the Pharisees, to judge,
Mm,
to discriminate,
mm,
to be on the moral high ground. I still say religion is the one that put Jesus on the cross.
yeah.
Normal people didn't. Religion, just remember that. Hore, the very person who was very holy, who had no sin, nothing.
Mm-hmm.
We, like coach is saying, we have a role to play in whatever happens to us. So somebody who did not even have a role to play in what happened to him still was crucified by the very people he came to save. So religion crucified him. So
Mm-hmm.
who are you to think that religion is not going to crucify you? Who are you?
Exactly.
So you need to get to a stage where you unpack your emotions, you unpack them, and you say, what am I feeling?
Mm-hmm.
And why am I feeling like this?
Mm-hmm.
Is this something related to something that has happened in the past? And let's go back to that past. Have I healed from that experience? And how how is that applying to this particular issue now?
Now.
So we need to get to a stage where we say the only thing or the only person I have power over is me.
Yeah.
It's not the other person. The other person has power over them. And people, in all my experience, people who stigmatize, who are discriminative, who they are wabona, ours is shame, theirs is fear.
Yep.
As humans, we fear foreign things. We are fearful to things that are not, that are foreign to us, that are unfamiliar to us, foreign territory, foreign phenomenon, whatever. So because I see Coach Mpuseng and she says I'm a divorcee, and now here I am, I think I'm happily married, and I hear her story, it triggers something in me
Mm-hmm.
and to cause me to, try to put her down.
Yeah.
A whole lot of time when I've engaged with people who are discriminative, who are,
Judgmental.
stigmatizing, who are just mental. It's the issues in them. It's got nothing, just know that it has nothing to do with you.
Mm-hmm.
Honestly, it's got nothing to do. The beautiful story of when a prostitute was brought to Jesus, and they said to him, this woman is a prostitute, and they wanted to stone him. And he then said, he first started by writing down to show that he was it's a cultural thing, that which he did, in fact, to show them that I have the power to actually be the judge of this person. And then his response was, whoever is clean must cast the first
The
stone.
first two.
If you know that you are clean, cast the first stone. So,
Yeah.
in other words, they themselves, these people, they were either a promiscuous, sleeping with this woman,
The
or
same
people
woman
like
they
her,
want killed.
or they know that they have been guilty of this sin or any other. Because remember, if you sin on one, you have sinned on all of them, all 10. So they had to look at the man in the mirror and say, can I take this stone? You know? And to be able to do that, you also need a witness to say, yes, I've witnessed this person not doing that. So that's why they became quiet, they moved away, because they knew that they are not clean. And that's the picture that always come to me whenever I experience stigma or discrimination, to say, Muto already is running away from dealing with their own issues. So I'm an easy target, because the internal person in them is so uncomfortable that they cannot deal with themselves, and it makes them feel better to deal with my issues, to look at my issues. And once you know that, you're gonna have so much peace. I promise you, so much peace, because you'll even forgive easily and
Yeah.
feel pity for that person, because
Yeah.
they are struggling. At least you faced your
Yeah,
issues.
you faced your demons.
That's why
as they say.
you faced your demons. They are out in the open. One of the biggest things I like doing, just to mess up with the devil and his angels. Nah, I'm the first one to tell my sins. The first one. In any situation, I'm the first one to put up my hand and say, hey, I did this, and this is how I reacted. Because I want me to be the person who tell my story.
Yeah.
And that way, I neutralize the
Yeah, you
enemy.
diffuse
I
the situation.
neutralize the enemy, because now you have nothing to say about me. I've already said it.
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
We said we're not gonna take long on this.
He gets very frustrated when you do that, But
Yeah,
then,
of course.
like Buddha said,
course.
at the end of the day, there are 3 things that cannot stay hidden forever, the sun,
Yeah.
the moon, and the truth.
And
What's
the
your
truth.
What is
And
your
the
truth?
truth.
Your truth. How you choose to tell, leave it, or keep it, hide it, it's your business. But it is also
Yeah.
your truth. As long as
Yeah.
you can tell your truth to yourself and repeat it so that you understand your truth, then it doesn't matter.
Yeah, and I want people to also understand the difference between facts and truth. The fact says I'm a divorcee. That's a fact. I can't run away from it.
Yeah.
But the truth is, I am Dinketsi Nkatho.
Thank you.
That will not change. And I am highly favored and truly blessed. That's who I am. That is the truth that cannot change. The fact, the fact is there, Shem. It's undisputed, but then there is a bigger thing, which is the truth.
Yeah. The truth. The
So,
truth.
guys, we wanted to give a motivational talk, a very short one, about recognizing and highlighting the issues of stigma and discrimination. We see them daily, and we are saying the endeavor should be to get out of the shame, the
Mm,
denial, the anger. That should be the quest,
mm.
so that you can get to the real truth of
Yeah,
that situation.
yeah, yeah. And
So,
yes, those conversations with yourself can be very uncomfortable because during the conversation, you even discover things about yourself that you didn't know or didn't
yes.
realize. But it's
So,
only when you take time, you know, take time tonight, 30 minutes to yourself, no cell phone, no nothing. Deal with that one thing that is bothering you. Whether it's
yeah,
I didn't like the way Sister Rainy spoke to me yesterday.
yeah,
But what is it that I actually didn't like?
yes,
What is it?
exactly.
What is it about her statement that is making me so uncomfortable?
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah,
then that is your starting point. I get it. You are not happy with her, and yeah, now she doesn't know shame. She said what she said.
mm-hmm.
She moved on from that. She didn't even know what she said stayed with me. So I need to go and do the work. So the zero discrimination starts with me.
Yeah,
For not everything that
yeah.
is being said, done, it's about me.
It's about you.
I social
Yes.
distance myself from that. It's not everything is about me. It's not even about me. It's about the person who said
Yeah.
it, not me. I refuse.
Very true.
Yeah.
Very true. So,
So
so, so true.
yeah.
Yeah. No, thank you, coach.
Okay.
Let's heal, guys. Let's heal the inner us, and also beware as well as you are given homework to go and have a conversation with you. What who is advising you, who
Mm,
is talking to your mind? The scripture says the battle is of the mind.
mm,
So whoever is governing this
mind.
is the boss. So the voice that you listen to that advises you, you need to be aware of that voice. And the voice that does not come with peace, with love, with kindness, with joy, it's not coming from a good space. So
Mm,
you need to discard that voice. As long as it's coming bringing turmoil, mute it,
mm, mm.
mute it,
Yeah.
mute it. Yeah.
Uh, you know,
um
there's this thing I normally do with my people that, you know, I say to them always, go and write a letter to yourself about this whole situation that we are discussing now. Write
mm,
a letter to yourself
yeah.
and read it out loud.
mm,
You know, listening to the words that you have written. So
yeah.
after that, you're gonna decide. Hore, mare ke a hlanya wa tseba. There are things that
Yeah.
we like to make issues and they are non-issues. Like I'm saying, sometimes something is not even about you
Yeah.
at all. It is nothing about you. That is why I social distance myself. You can say, do, post me, tag me, do, wanna drag me, because that's the word, buzzword. They will drag you. After that, Did you get $1 million? Were you richer? Or
Were you richer?
did you put yourself through the depression unnecessarily so, and not richer only monetarily but emotionally, spiritually?
Yeah,
Were you richer? Your mindset, did it grow because of pulling me down? Did you grow from that? Was there any growth? Are there any fruits of all after doing all that? Did you gain anything? You didn't.
yeah,
You are still in the same place.
exactly.
And now I'm a Johnny Walker. I keep walking. And I don't even know. My favorite say is that it's like drinking poison and expecting the other person to die.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, to all people that have been discriminated against, that are going through discrimination or stigma, any kind of stigma, from YM, we are saying stand out, continue to stand out, continue to be the butterfly. That is different. You know, when I was looking at this issue of one body, different parts, God showed me this beautiful picture of the bed that I posted, that purple blue bed, and that this bird was just playing with other birds looking for food just like them. It's not even aware that it's purple. To itself, it's a bird. It's a bird. It doesn't see itself as different. So that is the painful thing about being different, because you see yourself as human. You don't see yourself being different until somebody else singles you out. So just know that you are different. Accept yourself in that color that you are in, whatever color it is. Wear your badge with pride, because there's a purpose for that color, for whatever that you are being discriminated against, or whatever that you are different with. Wear it with pride. This year's theme on Zero Discrimination Day, it was saying we celebrate the right of everyone to live a full and productive life. Live it with dignity. Stand out. Continue to stand out. The dog does not bite on a standstill car. It barks on a car that
Moving
is
car.
moving.
Yeah.
The fact that you are discriminated against or you are experiencing stigma, it's because there is something the enemy sees in you that they want to put down. So continue to be you. Do you, boo?
Yeah.
Continue to shine. Continue to stand out. You are different. Why must you be like others? Because you were born with a purpose. That
Amen.
is why my theme is always I am highly favored and truly blessed. I came here to be different, not to be like, but to be different.
Yep.
Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you, guys. Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Go home as you are driving home, as you are preparing for the evening. There's a lot to think about and to ponder on. And thank you for joining us. Until next week,
Yeah.
we love you. Thank you, Coach, as
Yeah.
always. Thank you.
Thank you.